private. If you vote, it's public information. After this election, your voter record will be updated, and your friends and family will be able to see how often you vote, whether by mail, early, or in person on November 3rd. Make sure you have a plan and do your civic duty by being on or by November 3rd.
Two faith communities are teaming up to provide food to people in need. The Jewish Federation of Reading and Reading Hampton Heights Seventh-day Adventist Church hosted a food pantry this morning in York Township, helping harvest providing fresh meat, produce, and dairy foods. Organizers plan to serve at least 50 families. The two groups said they joined together to operate the pantry because there is a big need for help in the area.
We have a great partnership. We both care about people. We want to help people be happy and meet their needs in life. And do that, we think we're doing God's will.
The food pantry here will operate on the last Wednesday of the month from 9:30 until 11 a.m. Halloween is this Saturday, and many kids will be suited up hunting for candy in the midst of the pandemic. Tonight, we spoke with some diehard Halloween hosts on how they plan to handle the holiday. WFMZ's June Bassel has more.
Halloween 2020 has to be a give and take. Giving candy and taking precautions. We always have a good time. Even during the pandemic, Janet Marburger expects more than 1,000 trick-or-treaters to visit the Halloween haunt at her home on Walnut Street in Reading.
Hopefully everybody will stay in the line and, we're going to wear masks and we're going to try to be as safe as we can.
A few blocks east near North 12th and Spring Streets, clowns take over the home of Jim Ballman.
That's one of the bigger things.
As the clowns look on, Allman plans on spinning cotton candy and making fresh popcorn for the kids behind a glass shield. In the suburbs, you'll find more skaters at the same season. Now, one of the hottest skating spots is going to be on Byron Street in Lower Manhattan, where some neighbors tell us they're packaging candy and baggies to be sure to contact the trick-or-treating across our front sidewalk that leads to the house and just cover that with candy and allow people to take what they want. Which would give Joshua Potts a sweeter Saturday night. And that way we don't have to approach them, they don't have to approach us. We can stay inside and focus on the Penn State game. Jim Vassell, 69 News.
All right, moving on to the forecast now. Here's Dan.
And it does look really good come Halloween night, Wendy. So I think it's a little cool, but mostly clear skies. A full moon will light the way. We were hoping for some sunshine to light the way for a little while this afternoon. Never really happened. Showers gave way to fog and drizzle, gave way to clouds. And we had the clouds all day, 57 over 51. About a tenth of an inch of rain. We're going to move that decimal point over, meaning at least an inch tomorrow. Good soaking on the way. Some spots closer to 2. Foliage either peak or a little past peak. The winds are going to pick up and we'll strip some leaves off those trees over the next few days as well. Cloudy right now, not much wind to speak of, but not much sunshine either. 57 is our 5 o'clock temperature in Reading, and mid to upper 50s for a lot of southeastern PA. We did inch above 60, Delaware Valley and south. where we were able to break up the clouds or at least see some hints of sun. But 50s rule the day. Our Wednesday in Berks, 52 right now, Moncton, 55 in Lenhartsville, Boyertown at 54. So Hurricane Zeta, last storm, we hope, of this long hurricane season, making landfall within the past hour. Although there is another area we're already watching down in the Caribbean. But let's get rid of Zeta first. New Orleans would like to get rid of it, but really bad weather there as Hurricane Zeta Category 2 comes ashore. And then it's going to move in our direction by tomorrow night. It's moving off the Jersey Shore, but it's going to send a lot of rain our way. Thankfully, no hurricane force winds, but soaking rain Thursday into Thursday night. Right now, we have the clouds. We'll have them all night, but really not much falling from those clouds until very late tonight or early tomorrow morning. I expect rain to be developing sometime during the morning commute, most likely, and it quickly becomes heavy late morning, afternoon. I think the wettest part of the day is from midday into the evening hours. And then tomorrow night looks wet too. Perhaps some lulls in the rain, but still some rain from time to time. As the rain wraps up Friday morning, perhaps some snowflakes mixing in, especially the higher elevations north of Berks. And then maybe some drying later Friday, and that bodes well for the weekend. If you don't mind it chilly, I think the weekend is looking dry. Rainfall totals for Berks County, we're expecting 1 to 2 inches on average. That would be the general rule. Some spots could do 2 to 3. I think the best chance of that is the farther south and east you go. And then the storm drags down cold air, so now 51 with the rain tomorrow, 47. Showers only limited to Friday morning, but brisk and chilly throughout the day. We'll have a hard freeze Friday night, 50 on Halloween, 60 to start November. Remember, the sun will set at 5 o'clock that day as we fall back the clocks. And Monday's even colder. It could be a rain or snow shower for anybody on Monday. Saturday evening, that full moon lighting the way. I think it's dry for trick-or-treating. Temperatures slowly falling into the 30s. Won't be a whole lot of wind, so no wind chill, but definitely a chill in the air regardless. But weather cooperates with your candy collecting efforts. Mostly cloudy, rain arriving towards daybreak, which means most of the night tonight, including this evening, is dry. Upper 40s. And we're not going to move much. 51 tomorrow. It's a good old-fashioned washout, soaking rain, heavy at times, some fog as well. 1 to 2 inches of rain, the general rule. Northeast winds will increase, and it will be breezy on Friday. We're not going to get the winds of the hurricane. But a 10 to 20 mile an hour breeze will keep temperatures stuck in the 40s, 20s Friday night. Saturday's cool and sunny. Sunday's milder, but increasing clouds. Rain or snow shower Sunday night brings down some cold and wind for Monday. Election Day Tuesday should be dry for your voting efforts. That's forecast, Wendy. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan. We'll be back.
Joe Biden says he wants to bring back America, but back to what? For 5 decades, Biden supported trade deals that cheap jobs overseas. Biden would give in to Iran again. Let that pay to give illegal immigrants free health care. And Biden promised to raise our taxes on day one.
On day one,
Joe Biden, he won't bring back America. He'll take down America. American First statute is responsible for the content of this advertising. Let's turn off the noise and look at the facts about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's government-run healthcare plan. Their plan could lead to hospitals being closed, put Medicare coverage at risk, and give benefits to illegal immigrants. Their plan is just too dangerous for seniors like us. No amount of noise will change that. Learn more at seniorsbeware.com.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
I love this place. My dad was in the Air Force and we moved constantly. But when I came to Lehigh Valley more than 30 years ago, I knew I was finally home. People here are independent and resilient and want the same things. Fairness, high-skilled jobs, not just for those with a 4-year degree, and affordable health care and prescription drugs. In Congress, that's
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Shaw.
Hi, Julie.
Hey, how are you? Hey,
Well,
John. I guess John doesn't have his thing on. How are you doing, Miss Dredden?
oh, I'm doing fine.
Good.
Doing good. Doing good.
Mr. Shaw back with us?
I don't see you.
He's on, but yes, it's Mike. So at least you hear me, so I'm okay.
I can hear you.
Good. I have to have some Pepsi.
Uh-oh, that's your favorite. If they do away with Pepsi, you're in trouble.
You know what? I stopped drinking it, and I went somewhere, and they gave me a case of Pepsi. That was the wrong thing. Some
Oh.
old man said, we knew we could get you here if you said they had Pepsi. I said, stop. So is Mr. Shaw on now?
Howard is on.
Mr. Shaw?
I don't hear Mr. Shaw.
I see him, but yeah, his microphone's off.
Oh, he probably, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I had to hook up my earbuds.
I was waiting for you to because Mr. Long is going to probably give us some feedback today. So I'm glad you're here with me.
How about them Cowboys?
I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was. Well, we have an injured quarterback.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. No good for injuries.
Good
in my
evening,
career.
Cheryl.
You guys got a sore neck looking up at us in the standings. Sometimes when you look up in the first place, you get a little bit of
And we're right behind you.
a little bit of a sore neck.
But you know, Pittsburgh is looking pretty good.
I got $5 if either one of you can name this starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
You know what?
Ben DiNucci.
Right. And I only would pay Julie if she was right.
7th round pick out of James Madison.
Yes.
It's good. First year, right?
Yes.
Yep. Rookie.
Yeah, he'll do well.
Yeah. Not with that offensive line.
No, you can forget that.
We're starting to get
on to next year.
Don't listen to these people, Miss Dredden. You're nice.
What? I'm nice? Oh.
You listen to these people.
Yeah. What can I say? I'm an Eagle fan.
My girl.
So sad. So sad.
Oh, Eagle fan. That's not sad. That's wonderful.
So sad. So sad.
You a Dallas? What are you, a Dallas fan?
Oh, I've been a Dallas fan all my life.
Oh, I call them the Cowgirls.
Okay. But I do like the Winslow Eagles because 3-0.
4-0.
Good. 3-0.
4-0. Yeah, we just booked up on Washington Township.
That's amazing.
Oh, wow.
That's a blessing because I remember how Washington Township years ago would come in and leave. Oh, they almost made me dislike them. And I'm not a person that dislikes groups, but they were really hyped for the game and hyped after they won.
Oh, wow.
This is going back about 15 years ago.
Looking in the paper and just to see how they were doing, because he had mentioned the last meeting they were doing pretty good. I got to tell you, that win against Camden to open the season, Camden's one of a football team. They got a lot of talent on that team. In a couple of years, they are a different football squad than they've been in years past. I'd say the last 4 or 5 years, they've been very good.
Oh yeah.
So getting a win against them is something because they got some Division I players on that team.
Oh yeah.
It's good. It's good. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, we got 2 games left, other than maybe the playoffs.
What do they do? A 6-game season and then playoffs?
Yeah, this year. Yeah, we got a game November 6th against Eastern, or not November. Yeah, November 6th against Eastern, and then the Turkey game against Timber Creek, and then wherever they put us again in the playoffs.
But we're playing in Winslow for the Turkey game. Am I correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
Eastern
I'll be there for that one.
game, but Timber Creek, they're not as good as they were, but they got a sophomore quarterback. His brother's at NC State. His dad's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And they got a sophomore quarterback there that's pretty good.
Board meeting of October 28th, 2020.
We can hear you, Mrs. Boyle.
Uh-oh.
And if we could only go back to 2019.
Free. What a difference.
Well, you had to share that, right?
What a difference.
Is Miss Pitts on?
She was, but she went out. But she went out. Hello, Miss Martin. Hello, Rita.
Hello, Miss Martin.
What's this, Miss Pitts? Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
That's great.
Mr. Long. Yes, are you able to get in?
Miss Martin, so many levels.
Mr. Long.
Where's Miss Pitts?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
She was on. She was on.
Oh, she was on?
Yeah. So then she went out. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe she's having some problem.
Then it says starting your meeting.
She's trying to log in now.
It says my video is off. I don't, I'm getting this message. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But are you hearing her through my phone? Let me mute myself.
Says Cheryl has joined the meeting. It shows her. It shows her not by video, but it shows Cheryl.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
But not see
Tara,
you.
can you?
Yes, I think they can all hear you now.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mrs. Pitts, we can hear
Your screen, do you have a start video?
Yeah, I have a start video, and I'm hitting that. It says start my video. Okay, so I'm hitting that, and then it says we can't connect to your webcam. It says, is the webcam installed properly? Of course it is. It's what I've been using all along. That's the message that I'm getting.
it as audio, but not video.
Miss Pitts, did you already have your computer on, or you restarted from the beginning?
No, my computer was on.
Okay, you may need to reboot. It may just be a
Now, for
technology
instance,
malfunction.
now, Ms. McClendon, I don't see you. I
Okay.
see everybody else, but I don't see you.
Oh, I didn't hit start video. I'm sorry. That was me. That's why. If you're
Mrs. Pitts, if you shut your computer down and come back in again.
Okay, come all the way out?
Yes, go all the way out and then start up again.
Okay, we'll do.
Well, she's having a problem with her camera not connecting, so
Correct.
she would need to reboot and come back in because you need the camera to reboot itself.
Correct.
Okay.
You need to log off of your system completely and then restart it back up.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do as quickly as I can.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Be here.
Oh, I guess she hung up.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Julie, if I'm not, it's 6 o'clock, so I'd like for you to start. And I'm going to come all the way out and then I'll come back in.
I'm gonna have to get my meeting minutes. So hold on, because I'm gonna have to do something. I'm going. Hold on.
Or I can start and then come back out and try and get back on.
Okay,
Because everyone can hear me, right? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Everyone can hear, but you just can't see me.
Correct.
Correct.
Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start the meeting, and then I'll come out, Julie, and then I'll try and come back on. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Everyone's ready?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Lights, camera, almost action. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Winslow Township Board of Education's regular board meeting. Today is Wednesday, October 28th, 2020. Public notice of this remote public meeting was given to all board members and associates in a notice dated August 31st, 2020. Adequate and electronic notice of this public meeting has been provided, specifying the time, place, and manner in which this meeting is being conducted. It was advertised in the Courier Post, posted in all schools, the administration office, the municipal building, the library, the Bud Gubel Center, Edgewood Acres, Elmtown, and the Winslow Township Post Office. And this is our mission statement. The mission of the Winslow Township School District, a large, diverse, and growing community, is to educate all students to become independent, lifelong learners, critical thinkers, and caring and confident members of their community. The district, in partnership with the community and in a climate of cooperation and mutual respect, will provide an academic environment which values excellence and diversity, encourages students to strive for personal excellence, and assists them in acquiring the knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to contribute positively to a rapidly changing world. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blake?
Present.
Ms. Dredden?
Here.
Ms. Martin?
Present.
Ms. McClendon?
Present.
Ms. Mitchell?
Ms. Mitchell?
Ms. Mitchell?
Present.
Mr. Shaw?
Present.
And Ms. Thomas?
Present.
And Ms. Peterson?
Present.
And Ms. Pitts?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Can we just, at this time, take a minute and recite the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Peterson, at this time, would you read our 2020-2021 district goals? And at this time, I'm going to come out, everyone.
Please forgive me, but I was trying to. You have to give me a minute because I have to get to it. And I'm not there yet.
The district goals?
Yes, because I just flipped off of my page. So I'm just trying to open it up on the website. So.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. Can someone else read them for tonight? I'm sorry about that.
Okay, Ms. Martin, would you be able to read our 2021 district goals, please?
Yes, Madam President. 2020-21 district goals. Number 1, student achievement. Continue to implement past practices for delivering instruction to students utilizing all available and appropriate instructional modes. This shall include A, ensuring articulation at all grade levels throughout the district. B, focus on classroom instruction at all grade levels. C, ensuring all students have equal access to equipment and resources needed to facilitate and promote student learning in any setting. D, evaluation and updating all district programs. E, accountability of all district staff. 2, continue to foster a positive school environment that is conducive to teaching and learning. A, focus on building relationships among staff that will result in increased learning and more effective instruction. B, promote creative instruction, training, and retraining. C, emphasis on collaboration with all district stakeholders. D, promote cultural competence throughout the district. E, teacher to student relationships. And F, student to student relationships. Number 3, market our strengths and achievements to all stakeholders to increase capacity for greater parent, caregiver, community support. A, continue with our public relations marketing plan. B, continue to work with the various advisory committees in the district. C, examine communication methods utilized by the district.
Ms. Peterson, Mrs. Pitts, I believe, is trying to log back in. Would you like to ask Dr. Poteet whether he has any awards or presentations? I believe you're muted, Ms. Peterson. I made the same mistake.
Dr. Poteet, are there any awards or presentations this evening?
Madam Vice President, there are no presentations this evening. However, I would like to at least mention that the middle school, as well as all the schools in the Winslow Township School District, received their Sustainable New Jersey Awards. Today, I did send out some information to all board members. Did any of you have an opportunity to log in to that ceremony that took place today?
Briefly.
Okay, well, I just wanted you to know that the middle school did an excellent job putting together a video for that presentation and receiving their sustainability award for earning the most points in the middle school category for the entire state. And all of the other schools received a bronze certificate. So all the schools in the district received an honor this today from Sustainable New Jersey. That would be it. There are no additional presentations, Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Are there any committee reports? Education Committee? Mrs. Martin, can you read the Education Committee reports?
Yes, Madam President. We held our meeting yesterday and our meeting started at 3:30. The members in attendance was myself, Lavanya Mitchell, Julie Peterson, and Dr. Quacomo. Discussion items. Letter A, Genesis parent port numbers. As of now, there are 3,768 active accounts. Our enrollment numbers as of October 15th are 4,585. You will notice that there is a difference in that number, and that number has been indicated that all students are on our records until October 15th. There are about 38 to 40 of them who we have not been able to locate. We did letters, phone calls, Mr. Mills visited, and in some cases, there were no evidence of families being there. Chromebook update. At this particular time, the unreturned Chromebooks from March 2020 to June 2020, we've received about 38 of them, I believe. There are just a few of them are still left. However, there are repairs that are needed on them. And also, if they are not repairable, the parents are responsible for payment. Chromebook connectivity update. So we have over 290 Chromebooks activities. We have, of those, there are 290, on the hotspots. So if you take 290 times 40, that is $11,600 monthly that the district is spending for hotspots. We have, let me see, staff who have Chromebooks or Surface Pros is 372. Excuse me, as far as technology training update, there is no training, but there is continuous planning of meaningful lessons. And we had no student orientation feedback or review. Teacher and student engagement appears to be working very well. Dr. Quackamo said that things are going extraordinarily well with that. In reference to our special education services, we have teletherapy, and we're still working on the challenges going on with special education. Our meeting ended at 4:05 p.m.
Thank you, Mrs. Martin. Operations Committee?
Madam Vice President, I have a question for the Education Committee.
Sure. Yes.
Just wanted to know, Ms. Martin, did the Education Committee look into the situation about a waiting list for Chromebooks that was mentioned?
It was a question that was brought up, and I did ask that question. And to date, there is not a specific list of a wait list for Chromebooks. It seems that if for one reason or another, if you either elected if you forgot, or if a Chromebook is broken, the wait is just for us to get it repaired and get it back out. So there is no long wait list for Chromebooks.
Okay.
And the other, Mrs. McClendon,
yes.
To clarify that a little bit more, if there was a wait list, they're not notifying the building supervisors or the administration that there's a wait list. I do know of a couple of people that forgot to order sufficient Chromebooks for their families. And that happened in September. And that was one of them was brought to the attention of Mr. Shaw, and that was rectified right away.
Okay. Can you say what the process is for those who may believe that there's a waiting list for Chromebooks? If there's not a waiting list, what is the process that parents need to do if they are in need of a Chromebook?
If they're in need of a Chromebook, they need to notify the building supervisor, and that's the principal, that they need to have a Chromebook if theirs is not working, because also the issue came up with some of the Chromebooks that were purchased last year. The battery lifetime is not that long, so it appears that it's not working. It's the battery in the Chromebook, so they can bring that back. Just notify the principal, bring that back, or notify the principal that they're in need of an additional Chromebook. Yes. So
okay.
And we'll make sure that information goes out so that they are aware of it. So I'm sure that the administration is aware of it, and all building principals are aware that there's no way.
You're welcome.
Okay. One more thing, Ms. Peterson. If the Chromebook is going through maintenance, like if something was wrong with it and they had to return it to the school, do we have a turnaround time as to when they'll receive a new one, or it's the same day?
If they have additional ones there, it's the same day. If it requires more extensive and they don't, because they have to coordinate with the other building supervisors. So, for instance, if school 5 is in need of a Chromebook, they can call school 6 to see if they have an availability. So the turnaround is not that long, depending on what time. If you call around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you may not get it until the next day. Or if it's 2 o'clock on a Friday, you may not get it until Monday morning. But yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Peterson, Dr. Poteet, can I chime in?
Sure.
There are no waiting lists for people with Chromebooks. We're talking about October the 28th. There aren't people waiting for Chromebooks in our school district. Now, if someone doesn't have a Chromebook, it's not because they couldn't get one. If someone doesn't have a Chromebook, they need to report it. But the building principals, all the way up through me, there are no waiting lists for Chromebooks. So I'm not sure where that's coming from. There's a significant difference in getting a Chromebook repaired or not having one. But the turnover time is either the same day or next day, depending on whether or not the school 4, for example, if you need a Chromebook because yours need repair, if they do not have a new one to give you, they may call another school to get you one, because we're not trying to roll over old Chromebooks. We want to give them Chromebooks that are operable. But for me to sit here and listen to a Chromebook list, there are no lists in the school district for Chromebooks. So if there is a list, would someone please either call the principal or call my office and give me the list, because there are no lists in the district for Chromebooks. Again, October the 28th, and there are people out there still saying they don't have a Chromebook. I don't know where that's coming from. Really, I truly don't know where that's coming from.
Well, Dr. Poteet, if you remember at the last meeting, there was a call or two where parents called in and said that they were told there was a waiting list for Chromebooks. So that's why I asked let me finish. That's why I asked the education committee if they looked into it. And so Ms. Martin addressed it, and Ms. Peterson came back and addressed it and said that there is no waiting list. However, if there was a problem wrong with the Chromebook, that's why we went through all of those scenarios so that the public can know if you're having a situation with your Chromebook, these are the procedures that you need to take. But it was brought up to us at the last board meeting. So that's why I asked the education committee to talk more about it in detail if they looked into it to see if that was the case or not. So that's why that was brought up again.
I need to respond again, Ms. McClendon, because I answered the callers when they come in. That was one of the questions that were raised from the Citizens Advisory Committee list of questions. And I answered that question from the Citizens Advisory Committee. And that is the same response I gave tonight. And that is, there are no lists for waiting. However, for the record, if there are any parents whose child do not have a Chromebook in our district, all they have to do is pick up the phone, call the building principal, and they will respond immediately, same day. Because at this late date, there's no reason for any parent or any student in our district not to have a Chromebook. Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Can you hear me? And you hear me and see me?
Yes.
Okay.
We can see you too.
Okay. So, Ms. Peterson, can you bring me up to date as to where we are in the agenda?
On committee reports, the only committee that reported out that I asked was the Education Committee. I was moving on to the Operations Committee.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Peterson.
You're welcome.
Long speaking.
I'm sorry, Mr. Long?
Mr. Long speaking, if I may, Mrs. Pitts?
Yes.
I believe we may have omitted correspondence items and
Sure did.
1 minute.
Yes. I apologize for that. I sure did.
No worries.
Okay. All right. Well, we're back on track. So we're all on page 2. And we've done awards and presentations. Dr. Poteet, there were no awards or presentations?
No, there were no presentations this evening. I just reiterated for our listening audience and those who are joining us tonight that the middle school received their award for Sustainable New Jersey Silver Certification, and that all the schools in the school district received a bronze certificate today. It was a virtual celebration ceremony that was available from 3:30 to 5 o'clock today. And I just wanted to let the community know that all the schools did receive an award.
Thank you, Dr. Poteet. And so we are now board members on correspondence.
Madam President, we have none for this evening.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Boyle. Was there a motion for the minutes? We did not get to the minutes yet?
No, Madam
No?
President.
Okay, so at this time, board members, I'm asking for a motion to approve the minutes of the following meeting, our board meeting that took place on October 14th, 2020, minutes from the regular meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion, Martin.
Second, Peterson.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Peterson. Any questions or comments with regards to our minutes from our last meeting? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Bull. Now, board members, we're moving to our committee meetings. I understand that the report out of the Education Committee has already been put forth. So at this time, would there be a report out of our Operations Committee?
Yes, Madam President. The Operations Committee met on Tuesday, October the 27th, 2020 at 5:59 p.m. using WebEx. In attendance were Ms. Dredden, Committee Chair, myself, Mr. Shaw, and Ms. Mitchell. Also in attendance were Ms. Boyle, Ms. Chico, and Mr. Mills. And the following items was discussed. 1, Mr. Mills provided an update on district projects. A, the elevator at the high school is on site and installation is scheduled to begin this week. B, Ms. Boyle provided a brief update regarding the high school flooring replacement project as provided by the solicitor. The vendor has sued 2 of the subcontractors. A motion is scheduled to extend discovery an additional 120 days. C, 2020 summer fall projects. A, public address replacement project and unit vents, D wing of the high school. Work is on schedule and should be completed the first week of January 2021. B, the greenhouse project, curriculum, demo, a modular and parking lot expansion project. All projects are on schedule. The foul ball protection netting at the baseball field at the high school, only minor punch list items remain. D, administration building. Renovations are well along. Exterior work is being addressed. 2, recommissioning and certification of HVAC systems. CM3 Building Solutions are currently working on the recommissioning and certification of the HVAC systems. Conditions are being addressed as they proceed. The estimate completion date is the end of November. Ron Swink of LAN Associates sent CM3 the final count on Thursday, 10/27/20. CM3 will provide the cost estimate so the approval may be secured. Safe Screen COVID-19 Health Reporting System. People reported on this web-based application that the screen individuals for COVID-19 symptoms before they enter the site. It is designed to give us an entry pass into buildings prior to their arrival. Users are instructed to answer a series of questions. Based on the response, they will receive either a green for clear to enter or red, do not enter. If an individual receives a red response, the designated administrator is sent an email. Entry passes expires 11:59 p.m. each night and must be renewed daily. This system works on any internet connected device or smartphone and is useful for tracking and attendance. The cost is approximately $0.40 per user, approximately $2,000. And for the draft 2021-2022 budget preparation calendar was shared with the committee. The final copy will be on the next agenda for the board approval. 5, free and reduced lunch applications. There are currently fewer students with free or reduced lunch status as compared to those at this time last year. If a new application has been completed, free and reduced students will convert to a paid status. Although currently not being charged, eligible families may miss out on an opportunity offered by other state agencies should they be offered. Also, since the status at year end extended to the beginning of the following year, eligible families could begin the next year with a paid status. Applications are still being accepted. 6, 2019 to 2020 fiscal year audit is underway. The auditors are on site. 7, new items. There is a resolution on the agenda requesting board approval to extend the summer food service program that is currently in place to include the serving of meals on weekends and holidays. The meeting adjourned at 6:57 p.m. and the next meeting is to be determined.
Thank you, Ms. Dredden. That was pretty extensive meeting. Board members, would you have any questions or comments for the report out of the Operations Committee? Thank you. Moving now. Board
President,
Yes, Ms. Peterson.
just a comment. Given the pandemic and the number of people that are unemployed or seeking other assistance, I commend them for the Operations Committee for putting a motion on the floor tonight to extend the feeding to include weekends and the holidays. That's perfect. So I thank you for those that are in need, for seeing the need for it and doing something about it. So I want to thank the district for doing that.
Thank you. I would agree. Board members, any other comments, questions with regards to our operations report? Okay. Moving now to the policy committee report. As I stated at our last meeting, the policy committee will have its monthly meeting tomorrow, Thursday, October 29th at 4 p.m. and it will be remote. Moving now, Mr. Shaw. Mr. Shaw, the twin committee. I'm calling him the twin committee man. Mr. Shaw, can we hear from your marketing committee and then a report, if necessary, from your athletic committee?
Well, Madam President, if you don't mind, I'd like to do the athletic committee first.
Absolutely, go ahead.
All right, so both committees met on October 26th. But the athletic committee, we'll start with that first. The primary point of the athletic committee was we went over the start of winter sports. The NJSIAA approved for winter sports to begin on December 3rd. The seasons will be shortened to start as practices on December 3rd, which will be known as season 2. The regular season competitions will start Monday, December 21st, 2020, and end Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. And mind you, this is all barring any spikes of COVID-19 that we pray that will not happen. The NJSIAA will host a postseason competition for the winter sports season 2 from Friday with February 5th, 2021 through Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. If everybody notices that is involved with winter sports, it's a condensed postseason. So that's pretty much for winter sports as of right now. And there's going to be, right now, the schedules are being formed. It's going to be pretty much the same thing we did in the fall. Spectators are going to be very, very limited. We don't have any updates on spectators right now. Going back into our fall sports program, our football team as of right now is 4-0. This past weekend, we beat Washington Township to move to 4-0 during our homecoming game.
Yes.
Some of our other sports, field hockey, unfortunately hasn't won a game so far, but they are showing a lot of promise with our youth. So our class of 2023, 2024, with our youth movement, is showing a lot of promise moving into our future. So that's a really good thing.
Yes.
The cheerleaders, as always, are, they're helping our football team out with that spirit. Our girls tennis team has got a lot of, promise. They have a lot of, they've moved into the playoffs, and their singles and their doubles teams are doing really well. And, our athletic trainers and Mr. Whitaker did wonderful things by helping them get their season together. Cross country. I'm trying to get through this all because Mr. Whitaker provided me a huge highlight reel. Cross country. They, in the last couple of weeks, they took great strides. They had team meets at Dream Park in Logan Township against conference opponents, both boys and girls teams. Let's go back. The boys team was led by Charlie Dutton, who ran a personal best of 23:10. Let's see. And they'll be competing this weekend at Timber Creek Park in Blackwood for the Camden County Championships. And they'll be preparing for the South Jersey Group 3 Sectional Championships at Dream Park for the first time. The girls soccer varsity team had their senior night October 22nd against Cherry Hill West, and they'll be graduating 3 seniors this year.
Okay.
They have 5 games left in their season, and they're excited to see about the improvements that they have left, that they've made this year. The boys soccer team is finishing up their season with 3 games left and are striving to finish the season strong and build up for the upcoming season. And of course, this season we had the addition of the Camden County VOTEC teams players because the Camden County or CCTS they shut down their program for the fall, and they're going to be doing the same thing in the winter. So I'm hoping that they'll let their students come over and play for us again in the winter. So that'll help us out.
Okay.
And as always, as a side note, just remember anybody asking for tickets, because our turkey game this year against Timber Creek will be, I believe it's Dr. Petit, correct me if I'm wrong. The turkey game will be at Winslow this year against Timber Creek.
Yes.
So tickets, 300 tickets will be for the home team, and 200 will be designated for the away team. And those The tickets will be designated for the participants of the football, cheerleading, and band members. So there's no ticket sales at the door at the gate. So we just want to make sure everybody remembers that. So people are calling Mr. Whitaker's office asking for tickets. Just want to make sure we remind everybody of that.
Also, Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw, just briefly, and I'm sure folks already know this, but that game is usually held on Thanksgiving Day.
Yes.
Okay. And what time is that, Mr. Shaw?
I don't have a time for it right now, but when we do have our next board meeting, I will have a time.
Okay, good enough. Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Now the marketing committee. The marketing committee was brief because two of our members couldn't make it. So Dr. Poteet and I, with the agreement of our two other members, I updated them. We set the agenda and the time and date for the virtual town hall. The virtual town hall will take place on Wednesday, December 16th at 6 p.m. The topics will be the HVAC updates that have been ongoing throughout the district, COVID-19 updates, the results of a November 2020 parent and teacher survey, the hybrid reopening of schools, which we're hoping to have in January, and the announcement of what we're hoping to have a next town hall in March of 2021.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Any questions or comments with regards to either the marketing committee report or the athletic committee report?
Mr. Shaw, this is Ms. Martin. The time for the virtual hall on December 16th, did you say? 6. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Board members, any further comments or questions?
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Peterson.
I can make a comment. I was going to bring it up under new business, but I'm hoping that everyone gets the opportunity to see it. If you go to our board website, at the top right-hand side, it says translate. Documents now can be translated in 30 different languages. So go to
Okay, Ms. Peterson, can you slow that and repeat that very slowly, please?
If you go to our website, top right corner, where you see a search window, next to it says translate. If you open it up, bring it down, it translates into 30 different languages. So I just wanted to announce that I was surfing the website, and then I made some calls to Dr. Quackamo. Also, each school has a translator, so they can translate too. So I just wanted to bring that to the board members' attention that our website has a translator on it. And that's a PDF, then it has to be translated in a different way. But thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Again, here we have a school district that is giving its best that it can to serve the children in our community. That's really good news. Thank you, Ms. Peterson. So moving on, there's no other board committee reports. At this time, board members, I am asking for a motion to approve the superintendent's report. It begins at the middle of page 2 and continues through to the bottom of page 5. Is there a motion?
Motion, Martin.
Second, Mitchell.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Mitchell. Would there be any further questions or comments?
Madam President,
Yes.
this is Ms. Martin.
Yes, Ms. Martin.
Would like to draw everyone's attention to number 16, relating high school dual credit program.
Yes.
And number 17, I just want to commend the education committee, education department, as well as Dr. Poteet on securing a dual credit program from Rowan College of South Jersey and Stockton University.
Thanks, Ms. Martin. Any other comments or questions before I move for the vote? Thank you. Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Miss Dredden,
Yes.
Miss Martin,
Yes.
Miss McClendon,
Yes.
Miss Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Miss Peterson,
Yes.
and Miss Pitts.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. Moving now, board members, I am at the top of page 6. I'm asking for a motion to approve the Business Administrator Board Secretary's report that begins at the top of page 6 and continues through to the bottom of page 9. Is there a motion?
Motion Martin.
Second, Mitchell.
It has been moved by Ms. Martin and second by Ms. Mitchell. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Miss Dredden,
Yes.
Miss Martin,
Yes.
Miss McClendon,
Yes.
Miss Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw, Miss Thomas,
Yes.
Miss Peterson,
Yes.
and Miss Pitts.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Bull. Board members, I am at the top of page 10. At this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve what the superintendent recommends for approval of the following action items that are designated on page 10 and page 11. Is there a motion?
Motion Martin.
Second, Mitchell.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Mitchell. Would there be further questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Miss Dredden,
Yes.
Miss Martin,
Yes.
Miss McClendon,
Yes.
Miss Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw, Miss Thomas,
Yes.
Miss Peterson,
Yes.
and Miss Pitts.
Yes.
The motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. Board members, at this time, I ask that we move to our addendum, what I normally refer to as the pink sheet. At this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve the items that appear on our addendum, specifically the Business Administrator Board Secretary's report that begins at the top of page 1 and continues through to the top of page 3. Is there a motion?
Motion Martin.
Second, Mitchell.
It has been moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Mitchell. Would there be further questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Miss Dredden,
Yes.
Miss Martin,
Yes.
Miss McClendon,
Yes.
Miss Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw, Miss Thomas,
Yes.
Miss Peterson, and Miss Pitts.
Yes.
The motion has carried.
Thank you.
Ms. Boyle, I'm sorry, Madam President.
Yes,
I
Ms.
just noticed
McClendon.
something. I guess with the roll call that was just taken, I guess I was supposed to approve everything except for, I guess on page 2, the second item at the bottom with the school law form.
And you're going to recuse yourself?
Yes, from that one because of the dollar amount, correct?
That is the school law form?
Yes.
You're correct. You would recuse yourself from that because there is a dollar amount.
Right, so I wanted to make that change, Ms. Boyle, if that's okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So that is duly noted. Therefore, I do not have to repeat the roll call. Moving now, board members, I'm returning to our agenda. The bottom of page 11, the Open Public Records Act.
Madam President, we had none for this period.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. Moving now, board members, to old business. Board members, would there be any old business that you would care to discuss at this time? Hearing none from board members, I do have an item. If you can recall, I believe it was at our last board meeting, when we talked about the need to restructure our Citizens Advisory Committee. So therefore, now that at this point, we've gone through several rounds of the Citizens Advisory Committee. And to date now, we know what has not worked. So now we're going to move forward to find out what does. And in keeping with the suggestions from the Citizens Advisory Committee current members, I'm at this point going to set an ad hoc committee to restructure, to take a look at our Citizens Advisory Committee. So, therefore, at this time, I'm forming just an ad hoc committee for the restructuring of our Citizen Advisory Committee guidelines and procedures. And I'm asking Ms. Martin, Ms. McClendon, Ms. Mitchell, and Ms. Thomas to form that committee. Now, I'm asking, ladies, would there be any problem with any of you not being able to be a part of that committee? Okay, thank you. Now, here is what I'm going to ask of that committee. At this time, I'm going to ask that you review these current guidelines and procedures and bring forth to the board a recommendation as to the best way to advertise, recruit, and select members for the Citizens Advisory Committee. Number one. Number two, I'm asking this committee to bring forth a recommendation as to how we would have, or how many members we would seek to have on that CAC, whether it's unlimited or whether it's limited. And committee, of course, Ms. Martin, you're heading up this restructuring committee. I'm asking the restructuring committee to bring back recommendations to the board at our next meeting, which is November 10th. And I should say this to the restructuring committee of the CAC: if you cannot come to a consensus on how to complete those two tasks, then I will proceed according to policy 9140. Any questions, ladies, with regards to your task and what you're expected to bring back to the committee, the full board?
Madam President.
No.
Any questions?
No
No,
questions.
Madam
Oh,
President.
okay. All right, thank you, thank you. Moving now to new business, board members. Could there be any new business that you would care to discuss at this time? Hearing none? Okay, I do have one item. Most of us, of course, did attend this past week's New Jersey School Board Convention for school board members, and I'm sure that we all attended several of the training sessions, and it was well presented, considering that it was all done remotely. But one of the things that I did take away from that was a reminder that we as a board have forgotten that we usually do have a student representative who does come before us each board meeting and report. I was reminded because there was this young lady, I believe her first name was Sabrina, and she was from the Tabernacle District, and she spoke very, very well. And she gave some insight, real critical insight on what is happening with students as they are adjusting and adapting to this new mode. And she was just terrific. So, Dr. Poteet, I know that in the past we have had student representatives to report, and so therefore I am saying that we are going to reinstitute that. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Moving on to informational items. There be any informational items at this time?
Yes, Madam President, I have a few. I can move quickly through them. Many of them are updates that I'd like to announce this evening, and possibly, if necessarily, follow up with a robocall to the parents. Starting with November 5th and 6th, which is next week, Thursday and Friday, which is the NJEA convention. All schools and offices will be closed, which means there will be no remote instruction Thursday and Friday of next week. A reminder to the community as well as board members that our next school board meeting is Tuesday, November the 10th, not Wednesday. It's Tuesday, November the 10th, because November 11th is Veterans Day, and we will be observing Veterans Day on Wednesday, November the 11th. All schools and offices, again, will be closed on November election, which means there will be no remote instruction on that day. An update on the COVID-19 positive cases in the district. At last board meeting, there were only 8 students that had tested positive. We are now at 11. 8 of those students are in the Winslow Township School District, and the other 3 live in the township but do not attend Winslow Township schools. We did not have an increase in employee cases. It still remains at 4. We are still reaching out to parents in reference to attendance. We are still making phone calls. We're writing letters. But I also want you to know that Mr. Mills, from September through October, made 340 house calls in reference to attendance. Another layer of interest in trying to make sure that our young people are attending their sessions and their classes, even though we are remotely.
Excuse me, Dr. Poteet, could I interrupt? Let me just, if I could ask you to just repeat that. Am I to understand that Mr. Mills made over 300 person-to-person visits?
Yes, he went
throughout the
straight
district?
Yes. Now, there may have been, let's say, maybe 2 students in the same household that may have a situation, but yes, there's a total of 340 house visits. And again, I know the board had conversation about reaching out for whatever it is, and that house visit gives that parent an opportunity to share with Mr. Mills, because he is also our attendance officer. Give the parent an opportunity to share with Mr. Mills face to face if there are any issues that need to be addressed. And Mr. Mills do report back to Dr. Carcamo what he has found, as well as passing that information on to building principals. The reason I mention that is because we want to make that assistance available to the parents. And again, we talked about making sure parents have that face-to-face contact. And what are we doing beyond just making phone calls and sending letters? Mr. Mills is going out to the homes. And that's another opportunity for the parents, if there are any issues of any kind, to share that information with Mr. Mills during his visit. Okay?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, as you know, the high school addition is near completion. The only thing we're waiting for, of course, is the installation of the elevator, as mentioned by Mrs. Dredden earlier. We have to set up a date for a dedication. As you know, we normally do a dedication of some sort when we complete a large capital project. So we're looking at December, same as we did with the Sarah Gordy Auditorium, but it's going to have to be with safety protocols in place. There will be limited number of people. Of course, we can make sure people have masks and social distancing. So what I'm recommending, we pick a date in December, and we set up our security and administrative staff where we'll set out a block of time. We'll have the ceremony, let's say, hypothetically at 10:30, and then we'll keep the building open till, let's say, 12 o'clock for any parents who want to come and walk through and see the work once, of course, as it's been completed. So I think we need to come up with the time that's convenient for the board. If you want to do it on a weekend, a Saturday, through the week, we still have some time. So, Madam President, I think I just want to put that before you early enough so we can think about a dedication date. Keep in mind that it's Christmas, our winter break, so it has to be within that first 3 weeks of December.
Okay, Dr. Poteet. Board members, how do you want to handle this? Do you want to address this now, or would you want to email Dr. Poteet with at least 2 dates that would be agreeable and fit into your schedule? Hello?
Madam President, I think we should kind of discuss it now.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell.
Yeah, discuss it now.
All right, Mr. Shaw.
Discuss it now.
Okay, Ms. Dredden. Okay, well, all right, board members. So Dr. Poteet said that we would need a date within the first 3 weeks. Now, let me say this. How many board members are in favor of having it on a weekend? Okay, could you just, okay, I know I see the thumbs up and everything, but could you just call out your name and say yes or no with regards to a weekend? Let's start with, who said yes?
Martin.
Oh, Miss Martin said yes.
Mitchell, yes.
Yes.
Mitchell, yes.
Thomas, yes.
Thomas,
Shaw,
yes.
yes.
Shaw, yes.
Dredden, yes.
Dredden, yes.
Yes, depending on the weekend for me.
Yes. I'm sorry, Ms.
Peterson, yes.
McClendon. Peterson, yes. I didn't hear you, Ms. McClendon.
I was saying the weekend is good for me depending on which weekend. So once we throw out the proposed dates.
Okay, so it's a consensus that the weekend, Dr. Poteet, would be a good date for the dedication. Now, as far as which
I took a
weekend?
couple minutes to pull my calendar up. Mrs. McClendon, we have Saturday, December the 5th and December the 12th. I wouldn't go beyond that, but if you had to do the 19th, would be the latest Saturday. So which Saturday at this point, based on your calendar?
Dr. Poteet, both of those work for me, so that's fine, either date.
Okay, so Mrs., if I may,
Question.
Yes.
If it's December the 12th, what time are you looking at? Because December the 12th, I have a problem.
Okay, so we can move to another. We have 3 weekends that we can look at: the 5th, the 12th, the 19th.
The 5th is fine with me, or the 19th, but depending on what time, if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the 12th.
Okay, so it seems that Ms. McClendon is the 5th okay with you?
Yes, that's fine. I'm just waiting to hear like whatever time we decide to do it.
Okay, board members, let me ask this. Let me say this. Who would say that December 5th is not good for you? Okay, so Dr. Poteet, it appears that December 5th, Saturday, December 5th is good for all board members. We just need to now settle on a time.
Right. Well, I did hear Mrs. Peterson say 2 o'clock. Well, that's
No,
late.
morning. I can do morning. Anytime on the 5th.
Yeah, okay, good. Because see, morning works best because that gives us a little more time to have people come in, just to do the walkthroughs. So we usually, Mrs. Pitts, if I may, I'm sorry, we would start around 10:30, 11 o'clock, somewhere around there if you want to do earlier. But, Saturday, I try to give people enough time to sleep in, but then have it early enough so that we can have everyone in and then get people home because it is Saturday. So I don't want to take all of your Saturday time.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Dr. Poteet. So I'm asking board members, Saturday, December 5th at 10:30 a.m. Who would say that is not a good time? Okay, I hear crickets. So it would appear that Dr. Poteet, Saturday, December 5th at 10:30 a.m. would be an agreeable time for all members for the dedication of the newly constructed building.
Right. Now, Mrs. Pitts, members of the board, what we will do is put that information out in enough time for the community so they'll know how we're going to do the dedication, how we're going to spread out time for people to, just visit, to walk through. Again, the safety protocols are definitely in place. The only way I see us canceling if the COVID positive cases continue to rise, then we may have to either change it, cancel it, or whatever we may do. But at this point, December 5th, 10:30 a.m., we're set to go.
Okay. All right. All is well?
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Baker.
I have two additional information items. Heart and Soul Community Project. Remember last board meeting?
Yes.
I mentioned that the Heart and Soul Community Project has been something that the school district has been involved with from its inception. And I did mention that we were looking for additional people to join us, particularly young people. I also stated that I would reach out to the high school principal, Mr. Morella, which we have already done. Mr. Morella submitted me 12 names of high school students who are interested in participating. I sent those names to Mr. Moran, and with the question, is 12 enough? Because once we put the word out to the various clubs, we got an overwhelming response. So these are the first 12, but if that's not enough, then we can revisit this and get additional students. But I figure at this point, I'll let Mr. Moran tell me whether or not those 12 individuals would be substantial. Again, we want to continue to stay involved in this project. It is an integral part of what we do here in the school district and being a part of the Heart and Soul project. So that's just another step in getting the young people involved. And again, we are extending ourselves. If you know anyone between the ages of 25 and 35, maybe graduates, people still in the community who are interested, we're asking you to have those individuals either call me at the school district or any members. I know Mrs. Thomas is also a member, Mr. Shaw is a member of that committee. And anyone else, any board members, if you have anyone, reach out to you. If you would pass that information on to one of us, we'd appreciate it. And Mrs. Forrest, Mrs. Forrest, our grants writer, is also a member of that committee. Last but not least, it was brought to my attention that the township put out a Connections newsletter recently, maybe this past weekend. I have not seen it, but I did get some questions as to why the school district wasn't a part of it. We had not been a part of Connections for quite some time. If you can recall, for at least those of you who were on the board at the time, maybe 3-4 years ago, initially the Connections, the township and the school district shared the costs. So we pretty much went 50-50 on the costs, and we pretty much had an opportunity to put that newsletter out, school district and the township, and it worked very well. The mayor had an opportunity where some of the businesses in the area wanted to pay for that newsletter, which was a great deal, and they did. However, the format that they used because of all the advertisements didn't fit what we were submitting, because we were submitted in letter form, but when they put it in the newsletter, it was chopped up somewhat and you couldn't even follow it. It just didn't fit what we were trying to do. The other issue we had was the school district, unlike the township, they can put information in their newsletter that is useful to the township for the entire year. The school district would put information in that was timely. But by the time the newsletter was out, our information was old. It would be almost 2-3 months old, and it wasn't timely information. It wasn't useful. So at this point, we can revisit this, have a conversation with the mayor. I'm not sure, again, the format of the newsletter. I haven't seen it, but that was the reason. It just wasn't conducive to what we were trying to do, the information we were conveying. It had nothing to do with the working relationship with the mayor and I, because I know there's something that can be worked out that can happen. So those are the reasons we no longer. The format, the ads that they placed in there just broke our information up so bad it was very difficult to follow, and the timeliness of our information. So that's pretty much the reason we were no longer involved. And at this point, we haven't been involved for a few years, but I'll have a conversation with the mayor to see where they are. Madam President, members of the board, that concludes my information items for this evening.
Okay, thank you,
Madam
Dr.
President,
Yes, Ms. McClendon.
I have an informational item.
Yes.
But I did want to say something in regards to Dr. Pottee's first informational item. Dr. Pottee, just so that I heard you correctly, Mr. Mills went to over 300 student homes regarding attendance issues?
Yes. Yes.
Let me first commend Mr. Mills, because that is going over and beyond, and that's what distinguishes Winslow with some great educators in it. So that is very much appreciated. Secondly, and this is just to the parents and community members, is that please, from what Dr. Pottee said, if there are issues that the district is not aware of, please reach out so that the district can give you any assistance that may be needed. Secondly, if there are no issues, parents, we talk about parents being advocates for our own kids. And being an advocate for our child means that we are making sure our children are getting their education. And that goes to making sure our children are attending school classes as they should. This comes back to us being responsible parents, taking that responsibility. That kind of alarmed me to even hear that statement being made that our students are missing school and not coming to class. Check in on your kids. Make sure that they are coming to class, because that is our responsibility as parents. I'm a parent myself, so I do advocate for our parents when it comes down to things that are needed in the district. But when we need to step up to the plate to make sure that our children are getting their education, we need to do our part. So please check in on your kid and make sure they are attending class. And if not, find out why and get down to the bottom of it so that your child does not miss out on instruction and they don't end up repeating their grade because they missed too many days of school. However, again, if there are situations that are going on, please let the district know so that we can help and assist you with any assistance that may be needed. Secondly, I just want to mention that building up the youth, which is led by Mr. Ernest Brown, he does a lot of things within the community for our Winslow students. They are partnering up with the Winslow Township Fire Department for a trunk or treat on Friday, October the 30th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's a Halloween candy giveaway. The location is 510 Williamstown Road. All candy is pre-bagged and handed out after the viewing of all the trunks. So they do ask that you please wear a mask. So for any parents that are looking for something for their child to do on Halloween, trick-or-treat, trunk-or-treat, whatever you want to call it, definitely it will be a safe environment that a lot of our parents probably will be participating in with the trunk-or-treat part of it. Please attend if you can. Again, the date is October 30th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The location is 510 Williamstown Road. We definitely want to continue to support our youth in Winslow. That's
Very
it, Madam
good.
President.
Thank you, Ms. McClendon. Any other board members that might have information items?
No,
Yes,
Madam
President.
Someone said yes.
Yes, I have just one question.
Yes, Ms. Peterson.
As you are aware, September 2021 marks the 20th year that Winslow has been a district. I wanted to know if there are any plans to celebrate that achievement of 20 years.
Mrs. Peterson, you're the first to bring it up. And of course, those of you who have been here know of those kind of landmarks years. It has not been, but I think it's a great idea. The only thing I ask at this point, because it's so important, if we'll be able to do something to celebrate, hopefully once this COVID situation is either under control or we have some type of vaccine where we can really celebrate something of that magnitude and have a lot of people come out and have different kinds of things like events and things around it. And it could be more than one time, more than one location, maybe like a weekend or week celebration, different schools, whatever it may be. I think it's a great idea that we do it. I just think that if we can do it under safer circumstances, Mrs. Peterson, I think we can get a bigger appreciation for it. So I don't have a problem with it. I would just ask that we just consider some of those safety issues or concerns before we start the planning process.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Thank you, Dr. Poteet. Certainly going forward, that's something that will be on our list of planned events. Before I go any further, with regards to our communications here, it seems that I'm hearing an echo. I don't know, perhaps I'm the only one that's hearing an echo whenever we speak.
I hear it.
You hear it also, Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
So to our technology department, and I thank you so much for getting me back in, but there seems to be an ongoing echo whenever someone is speaking.
We need to have everyone mute. I think that would help.
Yeah, that would help. You're right. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Yes, if everyone would mute until at such time that you're going to speak. Oh, that made a big difference. Huh. All right. Moving now. Any other comments?
Yeah, I do, I do.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes. I left out one very big thing from my athletic committee report.
What's that, Mr. Shaw?
On October 22nd, we had the girls soccer team had a very, very important guest show up, and she made a very valiant effort to make sure she showed up for her former team. Miss Ciara King showed up. She got off the plane and came right to the Winslow soccer field and showed her support for her former team and the seniors on October 22nd, and stood on that sideline and made all the time that those girls needed, and sat there and cheered for our Winslow girls soccer team. So that was a very big night for the Winslow girls soccer team.
Oh,
So
that was great. That was wonderful.
We thanked Miss King.
Yes, indeed, we do. It's always nice to have our graduates remember and come back and let the current students know the kinds of heights that you can reach as a result of being a part of the Winslow Township District School family. Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
And I have one other thing.
Okay.
To piggyback off of Dr. Poteet with the heart and soul. After this past Thursday's meeting with the heart and soul, they started sorting out in the subcommittees, like different wards, the school district. There's various different committees. So I know Dr. Poteet has gotten some of the students involved, but teachers can, if the teachers want to get involved, if they live in Winslow, with the different subcommittees, and if they want to join into different wards, feel free to contact me or anybody that's on the Heart and Soul committees, or Mr. Moran or anybody. Please, because the more the merrier. The more that we can promote this, the better this is going to be for Winslow.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Any other comments? Any more input with regards to informational items? So if not, board members, we're going to move now to our public comment portion. The Winslow Township Board of Education highly values the input of citizens in making important decisions that affect the children of our community. We also believe in the rights of citizens to observe our board meetings, to ensure that all citizens have the opportunity to attend school board meetings and offer comment, and to ensure that the board can conduct the important business of the district. We ask that speakers follow these guidelines for making public comments. The board president or board secretary will recognize those individuals in the audience who wish to make comment. Please respect the following procedures. Number one, all members of the public attending, joining in to the school board meetings must treat each other and the board with respect. Number two, when you do, please state your full name and address. Number three, please submit your comments. Please limit your comments to 4 minutes. Number four, please submit your questions to the Board of Education with your name, address, and telephone number where you can be contacted. Your questions will be answered within a reasonable amount of time. And number five, individuals offering citizen comment are not permitted to make personal attacks on any district employee, board member, other testifier, or member of the public. And board members, before I open this up, I would like to just remind all callers to be patient with us because this technology that's being used is not always perfect and there may be a delay or maybe a disruption. We certainly hope not, but we ask for your patience. At this time, board members, I'm asking for a motion to open the meeting to public comment.
Motion, Martin.
Second, Mitchell.
Motion by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Mitchell. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. This meeting is now open to public comment. Ms. McCoy?
Yes,
Ms.
Madam
Boyle, I'm
President.
sorry.
Both of us are here. We do have one caller on the line. Are we on? Good evening, caller. You have joined the public comment section of the board meeting. Please state your name and address, and then you can proceed with your comment.
Thank you. My name is Allison Rostowski. I live at 7 Brookview Drive in Acca. I'm just calling. I wanted to identify myself as a member of the CAC and also a member of the Winslow Community Heart and Soul. I'm just calling because I'm very grateful that the school district is a part of the Heart and Soul, and I've been a part of it with Ian, Mr. Moran, since the beginning. And I just wanted to kind of vocalize my thoughts for those that have been asked to reflect on the CAC committee, that part of our foundational principles for the Community Heart and Soul is to include all voices and to play the long game. And so I think that those of us that are part of the Community Heart and Soul, that are also part of the CAC, would like those principles to transfer over to the CAC. So while you're reflecting on the partnership and the CAC foundation, how we're set up, I think part of what we would like to bring to the CAC is to make sure that we are an inclusive voice and that we have all voices at the table. And so part of my recommendations would be that we consider replacing those seats that are removed or that we lose along the way, and that we do open up the CAC to more voices so that we make sure that we are representative of the entire community. We are very small right now, and so I know that at times that may appear that we are just one part of the community asking for answers instead of speaking for the community as a whole. And so I think it would go a long way if the CAC were larger and did have voices from every ward, the different ethnical backgrounds and socioeconomic statuses, our different language speakers, those types of communities. We want to make sure that the CAC is representative of this entire community and that we are all working together in a positive, cohesive way. That is the intent of the members of the CAC, and that is what our vision is. And we are interested in playing the long game. So the CAC would just like you to consider those thoughts and continue to work together as a school district and the community to better the circumstances for all the students in Winslow. And I also wanted to thank the teachers in Winslow District because we have had a very wonderful experience so far. My 3 younger children, while it's been extremely challenging as a parent, I cannot say enough about the staff and the teachers in Winslow and all that they have done to make this as successful as it could be. Thank you, and that is all.
Thank you, Ms. Roskowski.
Okay. Good evening. You have called You have joined the public comment section of the board meeting. You may want to turn down your device in the background. If you could,
Let me see if I can.
okay. Caller,
Ms. Moore, maybe this caller should step out and come back again.
yes. Caller, would you like to call back?
Yeah, I'll call back.
Because there is a delay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. You've joined the public comment section of the Winslow Township Board of Education public comment section during the meeting. If you would state your name and address, and then you can make your comment.
Good evening. My name is Leticia Mike.
25 Pittman Lane, Sicklerville. I work
Excuse me, caller.
Excuse me, caller. Caller, hold on one section. Yes,
Ms.
Madam
Moore,
President.
I did not hear her name at all.
I believe it was Leticia Smite.
Okay, thank you.
SM, can you spell your last name, caller? S-M-I-T-E?
SMY THE.
T-H-E. Thank you, Ms. Smite. If you could give us your address and then proceed with your comment.
25 Pittman Lane, Sicklerville.
Thank you.
Okay. I work at a daycare, and many students are doing the virtual learning, but in the morning they log on to their classes, and sometimes like immediately after they log on and they are like take in consideration that they are present in the class, many of them just switch out and go on YouTube to watch movies, to play games, and we have to be like, the teachers at the daycare have to be like policing behind them, right? Also, many of them have long breaks, like 30 minutes, 1 hour. And in that time during the break, they also want to be on YouTube. So my concern was, if you guys have like a tech support or something, somebody that could limit the use of YouTube by the students, or just try for it to be used just for educational purpose. That's my question.
So Dr. Poteet?
Sure, I can try to answer that. It's unfortunate that we don't have any control over those devices once they leave the school district to a degree in terms of where the young people may venture off to. And unfortunately, when they are placed in a daycare, then the expectation is that those individuals whom the parents have left them to supervise and watch their children, unfortunately, that is something that you will try to have us or assist us with. But we can't shut down their computers and then cut them on and off, because we're talking 4,500 students, and there is a degree of monitoring that have to take place by the parents itself. So I'm not sure exactly what we can do to control that, other than try to work with you guys and, you know, maybe give you some ideas on how to address that. But your situation is similar to a person at home. Once they're at home, then it has to be monitored by either the parent in the home or, like yourself, in the daycare. There's something you're going to have to do, because we do not anticipate, nor do we expect the children to be online from the time they start in the morning till the very end of the day. That's not how remote learning works. There should be time where they have lessons that they're doing during the day from each class, and that for them to be sitting in front of the computer without any breaks, that just will not happen. It's not a healthy situation for them. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot that we can do at this point to help you, because we cannot shut down those computers of all those students every day. So at this point, I'm not sure how we can help you other than just try to ask that you assist us and try to closely monitor them as best you can.
All right, Dr. Poteet, the caller has left the line and we are waiting for the next call.
Okay.
Good evening. You've joined the public comment section of the Winslow Township Board of Education meeting. If you would state your name and address, and then you can make your comment.
Joe Thomas, 16 Pinewood Lane, Sicklerville, New Jersey.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, if you want to make your comment.
My comment is, first and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone for their time and effort being a part of the school board, because it's a voluntary position. I also would like to thank them for listening. I can see they didn't listen to what some of the community has been saying for the last 2 to 3 months, especially with the topics of addressing the CAC. Also with the topic of recognizing how important the alumni is by talking about Ms. King. Also the importance of making sure everyone knows how good our football team is doing in the athletic department and keeping that in the forefront. And us as a community don't expect you to get it all at once, but I can see that you are listening, and I appreciate that. My only question would be for the president is, what is statute 9140? Because when she tasked the committee to repolicize the CAC, she said if they don't, they will refer to 9140. I just would like clarification on what that is.
Mr. Thomas?
Thank you.
Mr. Thomas, can you hear me? Or are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yes, Mr. Thomas. When I referred policy number 9140, that's exactly what it is. It is our district policy that that we received as a result of coming through the state. That is the policy that instructs us on how to set up the Citizens Advisory Committee, how to place members on the Citizens Advisory Committee, and it sets the parameters for the Citizens Advisory Committee. So therefore, that's 9140, policy number 9140. And if I may, I would suggest, because of your interest, that you would go onto our website, go under the board's drop down, and go into our list of policies so that you can read policy number 9140 and get a better understanding for yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Oliver. We don't have any callers calling through at the moment.
Okay, Ms. Bull, I will give us a few minutes, give them a few more minutes, and then we will, because we do have executive session tonight, board members, and we will go into our executive. We will close out our public comments and go into our executive session, and then we will come back into our public comment, our public portion. Okay, board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to adjourn the public comment portion of our meeting.
Motion, Martin.
Second, Mitchell.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Mitchell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, Mr. Long. Mr. Long, I'm going to turn it over to you because I believe we are going into executive session.
So, maybe we can just check with Mr. Ponte if he's listening in, that before I go to the resolution, that everybody has the information we need to transition over to executive session.
We believe so. We sent out everything.
Mr. Long, that information was sent to all board members. So they should have that login information for the executive session.
I have it right here, but
Anybody have an issue before we disappear off this screen after I read the resolution?
Well, I won't know until I come back out and then try to come in, and then I'll contact Mr. Aponte.
Very well. In that case, in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, exec into an executive session on October 28th, 2020 at approximately 7:30 p.m. The items for general discussion as reflected by Dr. Poti was item 4, an update on the collective negotiations, the bargaining agreement with WTEA, and item 7, matters falling within the attorney-client privilege relating to board ethics. I would anticipate that, and we're going to have to keep this, somehow come back to this this login as well to come out of executive session and then adjourn the meeting. I do not anticipate that we'll be taking any formal action. I would anticipate that the executive session would last 30 minutes or less.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Long. Board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve our moving to executive session.
Motion Martin.
Second, Mitchell.
It has been moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Mitchell, that we move into executive session. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blake? Mr. Blake, you're muted. 2 thumbs up.
Mr. Blake, unmute.
He's good. 2 thumbs up did the trick.
Okay, we'll accept thumbs up.
Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. McClendon?
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Ms. Pitts?
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, board members. We are now entering into executive session. Safe trip. Hopefully I'll see everyone in a few minutes.
Hope we get there.
Yep.
How come I'm leaving this Oh, it says up here. So now I have to.
Miss Mitchell, were you first? Did you beat me over here?
I was first simply because I never signed out. I had too much of a hassle to try to get back in. So I just turned off my camera, mute it, and I just never sign out. There's a technology demon somewhere in my house. So once I'm in, I like to stay in.
Okay, hello. Can you hear me? No.
Yes, ma'am.
They're back in session.
Yeah, we have about 14 participants on, so a lot. We got
Okay. All right, bye.
Ms. Pitts, on mute.
I see at least 7 of you on. Board members.
Mr. Long, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear. Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
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 Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Is Miss Peterson here?
Yes.
Miss Peterson is here?
Yes.
Is Miss Dredden here?
No.
Yes. So it's up to you, Mrs. Pitts. We're ready to roll, I think, Mrs.
Okay. So therefore, board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve adjournment of our executive session.
Motion, Martin.
Second, Mitchell.
Motion by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Mitchell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, it is 8:20. I'm asking for a motion to adjourn this regular meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion, Martin.
Second, Mitchell.
Moved by Ms. Martin, second by Ms. Mitchell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a good weekend. Stay safe. Be careful. Good night.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
Ms. Pitts?
Yes.
I sent you an email this evening. From, you keep popping around on the board, from Carol McAllister, the board, I'm sorry, the partner who's doing the audit.
Okay.
I sent you her contact information. She wants you to reach out to her. She has some questions.
Okay.
for you. Okay?
Okay, and you sent that to me via email.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Boyle.
Thank you.
Mrs. Pitts,
Yes, Dr. Carcamo.
Mrs. Pitts, we sent an email for tomorrow's meeting,
Yes.
with the link so that we can join the meeting for tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so it should be in your email.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Carcamo.
Right.
And I did receive the policies.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, thank you.
All right. Take care. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.